You were a man of the world, but you never forgot where you were from. I want to say that I am glad you were my father. I am glad that you were my father then, and you always will continue to be. Thank you for everything.
Use the mic. They can't hear you.
I'm gonna read my verse first, and then afterwards I will play an audio of our son, or not our, sorry, my mom's son-in-law, my dad's son-in-law, the father. Dear Dad, would be fighting in the back seat about who has to sit in the middle one on our many trips to Karating. But of course, since I was the youngest, I was always have to sacrifice myself to the middle seat. It only seemed like yesterday that I and some of my cousins were sitting in the back of your station wagon on the way back from a wedding. I'm sorry whoever's wedding it was, I really can't remember. And we'd be laughing so hard every time we hit a pothole. And you know how the Kenyan roads were back then. They were 90% potholes and 10% of something that kind of resembles tarmac. Even though these memories seem like yesterday, it feels like years since you passed away. For each day that has gone by, I replay a memory in my head of you and me. You driving me to football matches in your Mercedes that you were so proud of owning, and everyone here knows that he loved his Mercedes-Benz so much. Introducing us to a whole different way of living in Doha, or even just yelling at Shirin Island for not doing their chores. Luckily for me, again, I was too young to be responsible at the time. However, it's not the case since I'm 25 years old. One thing I'll never forget is finding out that you were a Manchester United fan. So you mean to tell me, in a house full of Arsenal fans, there was a United fan? Honestly, I still can't believe it, and how that could have happened. But hey, you support who you support, right? Even if it is a questionable decision. There are so many memories flooding through my mind right now that it would take a whole novel or two to get them down. But most importantly, I hope that one day the sadness of your passing will be replaced by the happiness of times we had while you were still here. That toothy grin you always had when you were happy, and the many jokes you would crack with your brothers and sisters, some of which I really could not understand because my Kiswahili ni sawa too. You were gone so soon, and we didn't have the chance to say goodbye. So here it is, and I will say this in Dutch since I've heard Luo pretty much the entire evening and I don't understand a single word. But we live in Holland, so I'd like to say something in Dutch to create tribute to the life that we live there. Rustig, lieve papa. Wij missen je zoveel. Je hebt echt te vroeg ons verlaten, maar we zullen je nooit meer vergeten. Wel te rusten, papa. And now I will play Dino's audio.
I still can remember quite clearly the first time I met you. Let's say I was quite intimidated and worried that you wouldn't accept me. One great memory is when I was definitely getting too comfortable around you, and once we were at your place watching some football, and I placed my feet on the coffee table. With your very serious tone, you asked to take the feet off the table, and from then onwards, I've always been worried about making that mistake in your house. I've always looked up to you with respect, and we had a few nice conversations over the years. But probably the one that I will never forget is when I called you to ask for Shilazan. I don't know why, but I honestly thought you were going to say no. Instead, we spent over 30 minutes on the phone while we were miles away from each other, talking about how happy you were, and you have been waiting for this moment for so long, and the cherry on the cake would have been to have some grandkids. Well, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, our wedding hasn't happened yet. But at least we managed to give you our best present, Gaia. She and I are quite sure that she had a feeling that her Babu was about to go, and she decided to come and see him before he was gone. Seeing you all there, and the many times you thanked us, it showed me how much you loved her and how grateful you were. It was a pity that we didn't have enough time to do a trip together, either to Italy or Kenya, but I'm glad you managed to meet my mother. During the last months, it was tough to see your usual spark going away slowly, and when Sheila gave me the news on Sunday morning, I couldn't believe it, because we were meant to come and visit you that same afternoon. I will try to help Sheila, Steph, Alan and Doris to get through these tough times. You will always be in our memories, and we will talk about you with your grandkids. Choir Yedi, Tutuanana Tena, Dino.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Manon and Sohomal Mikingo Kodja of Nyaromadu. I'm very appreciative to see all of you here, especially Mugirogo and Babashilo Winti. It's been a long journey for us. Tunasaya Mwagonero Kamano Mukilo Nakakae, and has made us at least bring Babashilo back home and have him laid to rest. As most of you have heard, Anand Doris, and he had a taste, so probably if you look at me, I'm not sure if it's a taste, but I think it was okay. Waseda Gibaba Shilapara, we've been married for 33 years. We knew each other, a year before that, and we've always been together. And as we know, relationships, marriages, they're never all just comfortable and nothing. We have our fights, we have our issues. It's just like a bed of roses, but we've always managed to live through that. Eddie has been the love of my life. We've lived together for a long time. His illness is something that was not really encouraging, but he fought a good fight. He was a very strong, courageous man. Even the Saturday, Manekoro, when he was